This video contains spoilers for the first 2 episodes of Star Wars Ahsoka, so please swipe now if you care about that kind of thing. One of my favorite things about Sabine in this show is how they're making her basically this Jedi apprentice for Ahsoka, but without also retconning her as a Force user. So when we first, a little while ago, got this hint that Sabine would basically be Ahsoka's Jedi apprentice, that she would be becoming a Jedi in some sense. I remember there was a lot of, sort of controversial discourse, both for and against, of like, oh, does this mean they're going to retcon her as a Force user? And people who think, oh yeah, they should absolutely do that. And people like, no, that would be a horrible idea. I was more on the side of, I don't think they should retcon her as a Force user. But what I really love is they still had her as, okay, she's a Jedi, but they went out of their way to make it, or that she is training as a Jedi. That she was, and by the end of the 2 episodes, is again training as basically Ahsoka's Padawan, right? So the master-apprentice relationship that we have in pretty much almost every, at least Jedi-focused Star Wars project, that here is between Ahsoka and Sabine. But they still go out of their way to make it clear that, like, no, we're not making her a Force user. We're not changing that aspect of her character, like in this great scene with Professor Huyang.
I never had the talent, the abilities. Not like Ezra.
That much is true.
Thanks.
I have known many Padawans over the centuries, and I can safely say your aptitude for the Force would fall short of them all.
I never had the talent, the abilities. Not like Ezra.
That much is true.
Thanks.
I have known many Padawans over the centuries, and I can safely say your aptitude for the Force would fall short of them all.
I never had the talent, the abilities. Not like Ezra.
That much is true.
Thanks.
I have known many Padawans over the centuries, and I can safely say your aptitude for the Force would fall short of them all.
Like, I really love them sort of embracing this idea of that, you don't really need to have the Force, or, I mean, everyone sort of has the Force, but, like, you don't need to be a Force user who can, move things with their mind in order to be a Jedi, right? If you, sort of go to that kind of way of life, that philosophy, those beliefs, anyone, whether they're a Force user or not, can be a Jedi. Actually reminds me of this, High Republic short story where the whole point of it is this whole idea that, yeah, there are non-Force users that can become Jedi. Like, anyone can become this thing. You don't even need to have the Force. So yeah, I just really like that particular aspect of this show, especially in regards to Sabine's character, right? Because it would have been kind of easy for them to say, oh yeah, she actually was a Jedi, or she actually was a Force user. I'm using it that way, but that she actually was a Force user, and just didn't know it, right? I really like and she has, it looked like at the end, she had those same cuffs from the Trials of the Darksaber episode, where, the cuffs that sort of, or the gauntlets that replicate or counter like Jedi abilities. So I'm sure she'll be better able to go up against Hati the next time they have a fight. So yeah, I really love that aspect. Can't wait to see even more of Sabine. She feels like she's a really great Sabine, right? Like, it feels so much like the character right away.